Hi everybody, this is Bethany from Cranberry Essentials. I've been wanting to do a podcast for a while, so I thought I would jump in and do one. I, like a lot of people, have been a bit overwhelmed with everything that's going on in the world and what's been going on, within my own little world as well. So that has a lot to do with it, but I wanted to come on and talk about some of the projects that I'm working on right now with my knitting and share some things with you that I'm really excited about with those, and just generally catch up with everybody. And I guess probably it's so crazy out there right now. I had a discussion with a customer today on the phone, and I was talking about the fact that I think the key word for 2020 is adaptability, and it's like it's all moving so fast you can't really rationalize it, but you have to adapt. You have to change with the circumstances. You can't change those circumstances; they're not going to do that. You can't stop a virus yourself unless you're a biochemist and maybe can do it that way, but for most of us, you just have to sort of hold on and learn to adapt the best we can. I came home to work from home in the end of March, and I'm still working at home, and I don't see any change in that anytime soon. So I'm okay, because actually that was something I wanted all along. So I'm sorry it took a virus to happen, but I am glad to sort of be working from home. I tend to be more of an introvert, so I like my own space here. I find myself to be much more creative that way. So let's see. Well, we'll talk about the name change. And so you've all seen it's changed to either Cranberry or Cranberry Essential. It's listed, if you Google it, it's listed on Cranberry Essential, but the channel itself says Cranberry when you pull it up. And for those of you who don't know, Cranberry Horn is where I grew up. It's a geographical location. It's kind of like, it's a very small spot. It's like if you said, oh, if you go down to Brown's Corner, or you pass by so-and-so's flats, or that straight stretch out by so-and-so's bridge. It's that type of thing. The locals know it that way. And it's something that has been on maps forever. And I grew up in a house there. That used to be a schoolhouse down there. And it's named also for the geographic location. So I was asked to change the name because there were people that felt that my tarot readings in the morning were not in keeping with what the area should stand for. And I did it. I changed it, and my husband couldn't understand why I did that. But frankly, some battles are just easier to adapt and change than to take them on. So I did that. If I have learned one thing from everything that's going on with COVID and this time, is I've learned a lot more about myself. I'm human. I've made some mistakes in my life, just like everybody else. At one time I was in serious debt, serious debt, and had gotten myself into a lot of credit card debt just by daily living. I had worked for a company for a long time. I didn't make a lot of money, and so, you know, you want to give your kids whatever, you supplement it with a credit card. Sometimes it was just living. And I've been working for about 3 years to pay that off, and I am down to the final card right now. My goal is to have it paid off before we hit the road, so that that debt is gone and I don't have to worry about that. But that has been a very long struggle, and I have been working on it. And I am glad to say that, like I said, I've gotten out of a lot of debt. I've paid off a lot of it. So I'm proud of that. But I am human, like everybody else, and I have my shortfalls just like everybody else. Anyways, wow, that was a whole lot of 6 minutes worth of me blathering there. So anyways, the name has changed. I deleted my blog, which I'd had since 2015. And I changed the pages, the page titles, for it all. And, you know, when it comes down to it, I don't feel like I'm doing anything wrong with the tarot readings. That's just, everybody's going to have their own opinion of something. I've always been eclectic. I've always had strange things that I did. I've been a ghost hunter. Yes, I was a ghost hunter. A romance writer. I'm never gonna fit in neat and tidy boxes. It's never gonna happen. And I'm okay with that. There's something about turning 53 that makes you go, shit. I'm okay with the way I am. And that's all right. There are people who love me and love me despite my quirks. And you know, 2 of those are my kids that love me for who I am. And if anything, I have taught them never to be afraid to try something, which is what I wanted them to be. So anyways, so now that I've done that, so it's almost 8 minutes now, I'm going to talk about my knitting that I have been working on. So I started out wanting to make a cowl for my daughter, and I was going to do the Bubble Knits cowl. If you've ever seen the Bubble Knits cowl, and I can't tell you who it's by, I'm sorry. And I messed up the pattern. So I got about, I don't know, like 3 or 4 inches into it and realized that I had twisted the beginning round because it was done on, in the round. And so I had to rip it all out. And so I started again and realized, I didn't want to do that again. So I had picked out all of, my idea was I was going to use a lot of the pieces that I already had. I wanted to use certain colors that I had in my stash. I wanted it to be a stash buster. And so I, my hair's wet because I just took a shower. So I had pulled out all of these different colors out of my stash and was doing it. So I started going with my imagination. I thought, well, I cast on 100, I think I did 150 stitches. I don't know what size needle I'm doing this on. I think it's a 7. Yeah, it's a 4.5, so I think that's a 7. And I started working with it and realized I really, really loved the colors that I had, and I loved the texture of what I had. So I started out creating this border. I don't know if you can really see this border very well. What I was going for was to sort of have the look. It started out as geographic pattern, and then I adapted it to look more, I wanted it to look more like the colors of a peacock feather. And I like the geometric, the dark with the light, the dark borders with each section. I like the fact that the white is it's one of those hoogie yarns. It's a softer yarn, and it's got the fuzziness to it. And I really fell in love with it as I did it, and I just kept building one row after the other. I didn't write down the pattern as I went. I just followed where I wanted it to be, and I did make some things that I wasn't too thrilled with. Like there's one continuous line of this color here, which is a variegated, and it's okay, but it should have had a color in between. If you'd had not so much of a continuous line there, it would be more like individual feathers. So then I got up to here, and I realized that I wanted to have a band of fairly something to go in the middle that was going to have some sort of not a design, but it's more of a weight to it. That would be, I want a cowl that will sort of stand up but still be soft. So the edges of it are soft. I'm going to back it with I think polar fleece or something similar to that. I'm going to put on the back. So when I got up to this section, I think I spent probably, well, I know I spent at least one whole night looking for yarn to go in this section, and couldn't for the life of me figure out what color to put in there. I wanted something that would encompass all of these colors down here, and complement it, but still stand out enough on its own. So as I was going along, I happened to go to the Maritime Family Fiber, who is out of Cutler, Maine. They are as far up on the Maine coast as you can go before you hit Canada. They're literally right there. And they have a great family-run farm and shop up there. She does yarn. The great thing about Cutler is when my dad was in the Coast Guard, he was stationed in Cutler. So as a kid, we used to go up there a lot when I was a kid to see that area. And it's absolutely beautiful. If you ever get a chance to go up to Cutler, Machias, Eastport, Lubec, all of those areas, it is so worth it. It's so beautiful. And it's definitely, it's as close to being in Canada as you can be in the United States. Let's put it that way. So I went on I was listening to her podcast, and she was talking about the fact that she had done these Halloween bags. And I was like, oh, okay, that sounds like fun. I'll and it's a mystery bag. And so I bought one to support her, of course. That's exactly why I did that. Yes. And because she's only, I say only, she's like 4 hours away from me, if not more. She may be more than that. But she's still in the same state. She sent me the mystery bag, and it was, I have to pull it up here. It's attacking it. It is Briggs & Little, which is a Canadian fiber producer. I'm looking for my mouse. My mouse has disappeared. I don't know what I do with it. Anyways, it's the Briggs & Little Regal Wool. It is a 2-ply, pure wool, 100%. It is 113 grams, and it is wonderful. And the best part about it was it matched the pattern. If you look at this really closely, which is hard to tell here because it's not going to pick it up, there's a real underlying bit of blue underneath there. And that blue, because it's called fur green, so it's this greeny wool. So wool has that 100% wool has that texture, and I've used her 100% wool before. I love it. It's so nice to work with. But like I said, this has that blue undertone of it, and I thought, oh well, that's great. But it was a little too solid for me, so I actually took one of the greens that I was already working with, and I held it double with that other green, that lighter green, and I came up with the middle section here, which I'm so in love with. I mean, it's beautiful, and the wool makes it, by the time I block this, it's going to be so nice and warm and so good. And on top of that, you see this little guy here? She sent me that. This little keeper. He is so cute. And I'm so happy with it. So yeah, so I have been working on that. So the interesting part was I wanted mirror borders. So all of this that I have been working on here, I'm now recreating upside down on the other top. And so I am graphing it as I go along. So yeah, so that's the cowl that I have been working on, and it's like a totally unexpected pattern. I did buy something else from her because I couldn't resist, and I thought this would be perfect for Christmas. It is sport weight. It is the Briggs & Little, and it's 100% wool, and it is red. And I thought, wouldn't this be fantastic for Christmas ornaments or mittens, Christmas mittens, maybe with a little snowflake on them? That would be really nice. It's a good weight for it, because I like to make my mittens really tight, and a little bit bigger and a little tight, so that especially when I block them, wool especially is going to shrink. So it comes down and it makes that really nice. That was my grandmother did that. My Nana, she used to make what they called fisherman's mittens, which was 100% wool that she raised them herself, and would dye them herself. And so they would knit them oversized and tight, or tighter, and then you would wash them hot, and they would shrink, and they would become like waterproof. And so the fishermen would use them when they were out hauling their traps, and they used to haul them by hand, so they needed things on their hands that were waterproof and would work well for them. So that is where that comes. I love working with it. It reminds me so much of her. So what else have I go with? I got the wrong bag. I got the wrong bag. These are old projects, but here's a pair of socks. And this is also from Maritime Fiber. This is, I think this is called Beach Rose. And I bought it just because I was looking for something to try my hand at making socks. And I gotta keep working on that one. So that is a project at hand. I'm trying to find... Apologize. So this is a sweater that I started I started a boxing and I ripped it out, and I did that because I didn't like it. I was having a really hard time with the boxies tend to have a raised rib in the shoulders, and I didn't like it. It didn't work right for me. So I ripped it all out, and I said, well, now I need a sweater. So I started working on this one, and this is called the Slade Pullover, and it has a cowl neck to it. And I haven't gotten all that far. What it does is it has again, has texture that comes off of the shoulders. It's knit in the round, top down. Technically, I wouldn't have done the neck cowl yet, but I did it because I wanted to see how it was going to look. I was too anxious. So it just called for a stockinette stitch or garter, regular stitch up the cowl. And I did more of the stitching that is on the sleeves because I wanted to be able to carry it through. And then this, so you can see this has a hole. What you would do is, I'm gonna eventually bend that over. We're gonna feed a cord in there, and it will have, so I'll have a drawstring around the top of the cowl. So this is a long sleeve pullover. It's meant to be loose and boxy, and it is, who is that by? Let's see if I can figure out who that's by. It comes from Knit Picks. It's one of their free patterns that's on the site. It is, it has, I love it because the sleeves on it are long, meant to be longer. It actually has a pocket in the front like a hoodie would have. And with the cowl neck, I was wanting something loose that would be wrapped around my neck. So that is done, and here comes the rub. So when I started it and I started digging around, I was like, oh, I have this yarn that I love, and I've used this yarn for so many things. It's a commercial yarn. It is by Karen. It's the Karen Simply Soft Tweed, and that little pulp is there. Anyways, I'll have to fix that. It's Karen Simply Soft Tweed, and you can see it has a really great cream. There's tweeds of brown and black and gray in there, so it looks very fallish, and that's what I was hoping for. And I thought I had more, and then I realized I don't have very much of it because I've used it for projects. So I do have some that I've been hoarding. So in the meantime, I went online and I thought, well, I'll just buy more. That's okay, except I cannot find it. Karen is sold out of it right now, and it's supposed to be in the stores by the end of this month. So keep your fingers crossed that I can get more of that. Otherwise, I'm not. I have a backup plan. Okay, so this is my backup plan. If I can't get enough of this, what I'm going to do is knit it down to the point where I know I have enough to do like chest level right about here. And then I bought, don't tell me. I bought this from Mountain Meadow Wool. It's called Touch of the West, and it is natural dark gray worsted, 2-ply worsted, 200 yards. It says it's from the Camino Kid Ranch, Buffalo, Wyoming, 100% mountain merino, Rambouillet. It is squishy and nice, and it would be perfect with it. Let's, see. So yeah, so this is my backup plan. I do have enough of this to do the bottom part of the sweater if I have to, but we're hoping it doesn't come to that. So yeah, so that's where I stand with those two projects. I don't think I have anything else in there at the moment. Yeah, so that's where I go with the knitting projects right at the moment. I do have a tank that I started this summer, and it's linen cotton, but it requires so much attention. It's a Barocco pattern for a tank that is cut high in the sleeves. It comes up higher in the neckline. It's gorgeous, but it has a pattern to it. And I'll show you what bag I have. I have it in my Guinness bag. Because I'm, one of those people who uses whatever bag she has. So yeah, so that's where I'm standing with that. I did have some more yarn that I bought. I don't know what I did with them. Anyways, I bought a mini set from Witch Candy Yarns, which I love, 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 love. I found these. I thought I'd show these. These I did for my daughter last Christmas. And yeah, I haven't given them to her yet because I haven't blocked them. That's the way we roll in this family. They're mitts, fingerless mitts, whatever you want to call them, with a fox on it. She likes foxes. And these are called it has a Gaelic name. It's Sana. It's Sionach. And they were so much fun to make, and I worked like a crazy person to get them done. And a lot of the colors that you'll see here are the same ones in the other cowl that I'm making for her, because these are her favorite colors. So yeah, so they each have the fox on there. Maybe I'll just block them and give them to her at the same time as I give her the cowl. So she's got those. She used to have a job where she was working in cold, and I thought those would be nice, but she's not doing that anymore. So now they'll just be for her enjoyment. So yeah, so that's where I stand with the yarn at the moment. I don't know what I did with my Witch Candy stuff. I did post it on Instagram, so if you're on my Instagram feed, which is Cranberry Essential, Cranberry Essential, got me. Cranberry Essential. I did post a picture of the Witch Candy. Now, I gotta say, I love Indie Dyers. They give the best service I have ever seen. Witch Candy, no exception. And I'm not sure where she is, but her customer service is awesome. Maritime Fiber, which, like I said, is right up here. She missed one of my skeins by mistake. It was a mistake. And I emailed her about it. I said, did I order that? And she's like, oh my gosh, I forgot it. And so she sent it out to me, and I got it the next day. So that just tells you that they stand behind what they sell, and they do a good job with it. So my hope is to bring you other independent dyers who I find are awesome along the way, and to share more of my knitting. So that's about it for right now. If I can find the picture of the Slade pullover, I will post it on the Instagram so you can see which one I'm doing. And if anybody knows anybody at Karen, can you put a word in for me that I need some more of the cream tweed? Simply Soft cream tweed, please. So for now, that's it. That's my update for this fall, and I hope you all are happy and healthy, and I hope that things are going well for you. I don't think there's going to be a change anytime soon, so we just need to just sort of go with the flow and accept it as it is. And for my husband and I, we're not quite sure. We had a plan, but as things progress, we're not sure what's going to happen with that plan. Our plan was to, by next summer, to be on the road, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. then. So we'll see how it goes. But I want to thank you all for watching, for joining in. And if you got anything good out of this, please give it a thumbs up and let me know. Definitely want to be doing more podcasting. And if there's anything that you want to hear about, let me know. You know, these are rough videos. I don't even have makeup on because I just got out of the shower. New glasses coming next week. Yay. I'm very happy about that. I can actually see what I'm supposed to be seeing again. So I'll have to give you guys a post of that when that happens. So, as I said, I hope you're all happy and healthy and well. And if you have projects you want to share, let me know. I'm always fascinated by the things, especially things that people do that are creative. I hope to be coming on soon and talking about a friend of mine has a book that's coming out the end of this month. If you read romance, let me know. And her name is Del Sorolo. And she writes small town romances set in Maine and Colorado, I think. And they're fantastic. So yeah, kisses to y'all. I hope you all are doing well. Bye.